What's up?
Live again.
We're here,
Happy
better than
Friday,
ever.
Beautiful people.
Got some Palin boys on the couch, and they're answering questions about life in Souch.
Stout.
Ouch. Yeah, well, you know, we all got to rhyme somehow.
That's right.
We'll get there eventually.
You know, rhyming's one of those skills that pays the bills.
Man, you're on one today.
Look
I
at
like
you,
that.
Man. That's
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know where to take that from.
I think you just let her be.
Yeah, let it rip.
Just let
All
her
right.
sit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling you Buster because of your rhymes. Right?
Hey.
There we go.
Wow. Max, I've never heard you
I got to
laugh
check a lot
like
of
that.
Max. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I got you all in check. Woo-ha.
Because you know.
right.
Woo-ha. Oh, see, there you go. All right, good. Well, good night, everybody.
Hey, that's all we got.
Oh man.
Hey, it's Friday. Man,
Almost
I feel
the
like
first day
this
of
week
summer.
has just
Seriously,
flown by.
Yes,
it was a fast.
that it
week.
has.
Yes, and we've got some exciting things coming up. It is, well, I'll just say this. This weekend, Saturday, I believe, is National Make Music Day.
Well,
There you go.
guess what?
Yep.
I'm gonna make music.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
all going to be doing that.
Yeah, one form or another.
What are you playing this weekend?
Back at Tie and Timber on Sunday. We're doing a little matinee groovy thing about 4. And then tonight, obviously, Lavender Falls for the second to last of the season with the lovely Melissa Ray, my lovely sister.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where are you playing this weekend?
Church
Church.
and
and
Black Oak Amphitheater in Lampy.
is that this weekend?
This
then?
this
That's
weekend.
weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Oh, cool.
The old church is opening up for Crowder.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty cool time. You're going to be playing with me.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Yeah.
looking across the stage, looking at you.
Yeah.
I got to brag on Elijah for a
That's gonna be
second.
awesome.
Elijah is a great musician. He's one of them bass players that when you're playing with him, you know how sometimes you wonder, like, does my bass player even like me? You know what I mean? You laugh because you're like, you know that look where they're
Yeah.
like, I could be playing with anybody. You know that, right?
You know I'm better than all
Yep.
of you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think every
Yeah.
time.
No, but Elijah, he's over there. He's just in the pocket, giving me just give me the big old cheese. You know what I mean?
The other day at church, we were playing, and where our point of view is we've got the drummer in between Nate and I when we play. So we're
Which,
looking
by the way,
through.
we gotta give Peter Peppers a shout out. It's his
Yep.
birthday.
Oh,
It's Peter Pepper's
happy birthday, Peter.
That's right.
And my dad's birthday. See, this is big.
Is
Yeah.
Peter your dad?
We look just
Just alike. There it is.
Obviously, we're very close. Yeah.
By the way, I see you, Ty Burns. Love you. He said, shoot, the boys are back. Ty
up,
Burns.
Ty,
Anyway,
buddy?
looking at each other.
Yeah, so we're looking at each other in between like two sheets of what are they?
Plexiglass.
Plexiglass. And if you ever seen like the Nate face look when he's playing, it's like
You got to go do it up in the camera so they can see it. This is
kinda-
Elijah's impression of my face.
like that.
That's the
So-
groove face right
Yeah,
there.
that's the groove
I'm
face.
feeling it.
But I started doing this in response to that as I'm playing, and I'm going like this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was
And
giving
so-
me a little bit of ZZ Top.
I was giving him a little something,
you
something.
gotta
So
do.
yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, we're gonna have fun on Sunday. It's
gonna
gonna be a
be
long day,
It's going to be a long day.
but it'll be a successful day.
It's gonna be warm.
So,
We're gonna have
yep.
good weather though.
It's going to be warm.
I'm gonna be wearing my boots
Bring
too.
your fan.
Okay, real quick. Now, I want you can't be giving me a made-up answer, and I want to hear from y'all out there too. And I want your honest answer because I have strong opinions about this, very strong. This is a yes or no question.
No.
That's where I'm coming from.
Yep.
When you're playing a performance, whether that is a Sunday morning, a wedding, a backyard barbecue, you are holding an instrument and you are making music. Is it okay to wear shorts and play guitar in front of people?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not is where I'm coming from.
I-
We got thumbs down from Max.
It's not okay.
It's not
Not
okay.
I give a caveat to the drummer because they're basically doing
you're
aerobics
sitting
and it
down-
doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
If you're sitting down.
But no, there's nothing rock and roll about shorts.
So say it again.
There is nothing rock and roll about shorts.
All right, internet.
That's right.
I want to know how you feel
No
about it.
cargo
because
shorts,
Because
nothing.
if you say no, Nate, here's a situation where you could wear shorts and play the rock and roll music. I'd love to know what that is. I can't think of it.
I don't care if you're on a beach in
Look at Ty Burns.
Fiji.
Look at Ty Burns.
You're
Somebody
wearing
read
pants.
Never black
Never.
jeans, black t-shirt, always.
Yeah.
that. Man,
I
Ty
mean,
Burns
always.
coming in.
Always. Well, I mean, you know.
I agree with you, Ty Burns.
See, I just bought a lot of wide leg linen pants. This is my summertime compromise.
We got the swashbuckler over
are
here
those
today.
pajamas or are they pants? But
Well, because
yes.
who knows what happens the day that you break the rule and you go to play somewhere and you got shorts on. You know what happens? That's when
You aren't
somebody's
coming
got
back.
the camera out And I actually have this moment somewhere on the internet where I am playing a 4th of July backyard barbecue, and it was hot because it was July, and there was no cover, meaning like shade,
Yeah.
and I had shorts on, and then somebody put a cowboy hat on my head. So I have a 10-gallon cowboy hat, playing my guitar with shorts on. And here's what's so funny. Rich Cachado, our former Taylor rep, found that on the internet, and he just said, I think something like this: "I am ashamed."
I'm ashamed. That's hilarious.
I heard that
Yeah.
in his voice too.
Yeah.
I last time I wore shorts, it was during COVID, and while playing music, and we had like things kind of get back to normal. We had like a backyard kind of just music party at my sister and brother-in-law's house, and it was hot. I'm wearing like a bandana and stuff, and somebody snapped a picture of it. It's the first day I noticed I have like flat knees from doing carpet all the time, and all I see is these weird indentions in my legs. So I almost don't want to wear them, period, much less on stage. Where
He
people
got
can
them carpet knee
see it.
blues.
I got the old flat knee Henderson, that they call
Flat
him.
knee
Old
Henderson,
flat knee Henderson.
doing what it do.
Man,
But I'm very stable, so that helps. I'm very sturdy.
Man, Jordan just showed up and just started like
yeah.
flicking through all kinds
said,
of buttons
"Max,
and
get
whole
out of the
screen."
way.
I was
Okay.
about to read Christian Dunn had a comment, but that's gone now.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't.
Jordan's on the scene.
Yep.
Look at
Jordan's
that.
taking over.
Jordan
see what
said,
we got.
"Hold on, boys.
said,
I
"Hold
just bought a
on.
guitar.
I'm
I can
Sam
do what
and
I
Dave."
want."
Yeah.
Okay.
I now own a Martin.
Christian says, "Hey, gang."
Oh, hey, gang. Hey, Christian.
Hey, brother.
Yeah.
Christian actually had a question too earlier. He just asked, how things might have changed, and this is kind of I'll be honest with you, Christian. I was a little surprised that this was interesting because I didn't know that folks thought about that other than folks that work in music retail. And the question was, how are things changed now with just the way the world is, with current events and AI and all this stuff? So, open question to the commentators.
Well, what was the question?
Well, I guess I got to read it. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on
Yeah.
here. He says, would love to hear some information on thriving as a music store in this day and age. And says he's been seeing more and more music stores close. And he also loves talking about, pedals and guitars and that kind of stuff too. But
So,
yeah, that's the question. Thriving.
how do music stores thrive
This
in this day and age? Yeah.
I can tell you what my thoughts are, but I don't want to talk the whole time.
Well, I just have a few just right off the bat. I think for music stores to thrive in this day and age is you have to find things that you do really, really well too. And one of these is what we're doing right now. I mean, being able to have an online presence, having people in your store that love gear, but more importantly, love people, love getting to interact with people, because that's one thing that'll never go away in our society is people wanting to interact with each other, having
Absolutely.
community, and having that. The golden rule, that's what we go by. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated.
Well, and it helps to hire some really handsome and personable dudes like ourselves.
That helps too.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, you know what I feel like is the more, I'll say it this way, the more artificial experiences that are out there, the more the authentic experiences become premium, become more valuable. And that's something that I promise you, if you come to Old Palin Music Center in Springfield, Missouri, or the Palin Music Center nearest you, you're going to find folks who love fostering authentic relationships.
do love
Music
that.
is about
Totally.
relationships.
That's right.
Totally. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is my phone ringing?
Rod says more money.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
that.
Oh, well, Rod had a flooring business for 20 years. Well, man, I bet his knees hurt too. Gee.
Yeah, but that's also why he's got all that money. You know what, Rod? We
Yeah.
take one easy payment, friend.
That's right. One easy payment. Plastic
man.
works.
Christian says, somebody read that for me up right
Palin
there.
is premium. Oh, man.
Nice.
Thanks, brother.
He says creating a connection seems super important these days. Y'all do this well.
Thank you.
Well,
buddy.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you for
Christian.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
very
That's the goal.
intentional about it, and so I'm glad to know that it helps.
Yeah.
We really are.
Absolutely. So, hey, by the way, if there's any questions that you have while you're watching this, or you just want to have your name read out by some of these lovely folks right here,
Good
I
at
read
reading
names.
names. So.
I read names. I'm good at
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Put it in the comments. Man, I tell you what, we've had some pretty amazing concerts, and we got some more coming. Did I see that we got Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson heading this way to come play a show?
Again, Bob
Where's that
Dylan's
going to
coming
be
back.
at? Is that
Thunder
Thunder
Ridge.
Ridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
Has that happened before? Bob and Willie? Willie and Bob?
Yeah, I think probably. I would think
Max
at
is
this
saying
point,
probably.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
Max
love to
wearing
be-
a Willie Nelson T-shirt right now too.
Wouldn't
so
you
that's
love to
pretty
be
cool.
in that conversation backstage?
Yeah.
You know, Willie's like, I don't know. And Bob's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Speaking of Willie Nelson, my dad and my mom went to see Willie Nelson at the Black Oak Amphitheater.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They said it was a fun show. And he's getting a bit older now where he has, I think his son was also playing Lucas and singing some of his songs. And,
right?
but they said it
91?
was still a great show and the band was tight and it sounded great. So
I
he's
love
still
Willie
doing
Nelson.
it. Yeah.
Me too. I saw him about 15 years ago. He was, well, gosh, okay, no, it's been closer to 20. But yeah, he was wonderful.
My wife and I had tickets to go see Lucas Nelson right before COVID hit. He was supposed to play the Gilloys.
Oh, yeah.
And it was I remember this in November, and I was like stoked. And I still want to see Lucas Nelson because I think he is an incredible talent in terms of songwriting. I love his voice, and he's a great guitar player.
He is.
Yeah,
He
he's
really
one of them
is,
one
yeah.
pickup users.
Yep.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Shows
he
up with-
plays
yeah.
like I think it's either a 58 or a 59. I think it's a 58 Les Paul Jr.
Oh,
That's awesome.
cool.
Really cool guitar.
That's a good question. What is one concert that you would love to go to somebody? Let's put it this way. Let's preface it this way. Someone that's maybe not like an arena act,
Not Led Zeppelin.
not Led Zeppelin, not Willie Nelson.
Okay.
What's someone maybe a little under the radar that you would think of?
Wait a minute. Rod is taking this to a PG-13 level. I just saw these comments. Rod, now come on now. This is a family show.
Well, that sounds like you got your money's worth out of that ticket. So that's good. Yeah.
What's a show you would? I would love to see. I'd love to see Lucas Nelson. I'd love to see Lucas Nelson. I'd love to see. Is it Corey Henry? That's the keyboard player.
Yes,
Um,
he's great.
There's a lot of his stuff I like to watch because I love his chord changes. I'd love to see him. Man, I saw Marcus King. I'd go see Marcus King again too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
No, it's funny you mentioned Marcus King. Me and my friend Trey, his name's Trey Pontius. I'm going to send this to you, Trey. He now lives in Ohio, but we went to Evangel together. And this was when Marcus King just released Goodbye Carolina. Carolina Confessions was the album. And that's kind of the one that really elevated him to being more of a household name. And it was that tour that he just released the album. And he was in Colombia. And we almost just on a whim went up there, but we ended up not going. So to this day, I kick myself for not going. And
Well, that's a whole
having
other
a good
question.
time. But yeah,
Shows
that's
that,
my-
shows
that's my
that you
answer.
should have gone to see, but you didn't.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Him-
I got a humdinger on that one.
Corey Asbury's one that I'd love to
Oh,
go
yeah.
to.
I'd love to go see
Yeah, I
Corey.
love what he's doing now because he's kind of doing that.
But would you leave the 99 to go see Corey? That's a reckless love, brother.
There it is. Wow, that's a good tie-in. Yeah.
That's funny.
That was
Yeah.
a lyric.
Well, how about you?
Well, this is maybe you guys may not agree with me on this one. I got to see her back in 2017, and it blew my doors off. And her new album out is pretty cool and live. But Lady Gaga,
Oh,
you
yeah?
talk about a live performance.
But that's an arena show.
Well, can be. It can be. I mean, we saw her. Yeah, when we saw her at the Sprints up in Kansas City at the P&L.
Center.
And what was cool is like it's big, but not very big. And so I mean, we were at it's like an oval shape where we were sitting at the very back of the oval, so we could see the whole stage. But then she like has this catwalk thing and ends up playing solo piano like 10 feet in front of us for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
And she's just the real deal. I mean, she's maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but you want to talk about a musician, the through and through.
Oh, she's
She's
great.
one of the hardest
Yeah.
working, most
yeah,
talented
great
people
singer.
that of our time. I
Oh,
truly
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, songwriter.
Should be a heck
the
of a
whole
show.
sheboing.
Yeah.
Old Ty Burns says Ariel Posen. That's,
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That is a great answer.
Yeah.
I would
The
love to
Wood
see
Brothers are coming to the Galoy. You guys know the Wood Brothers?
Yes.
Yes,
I
they're
don't
going to be
know
there. Actually, Veterans Day, November 11th. They're going to be. It's a
I'll need to
Tuesday.
check them out. I
I'm
don't know
going
if
to,
I've heard of them.
buddy. They're wonderful. They started out as just two guys, and then they have a third now, so they're a trio.
Are,
but the
are they
harmony-
brothers?
Well, two of the three are. Yes.
okay.
So yeah,
The Wood Brothers.
they are amazing, and they're broke off from that jazz fusion Medeski, Martin, and Wood. So Wood was the bass player in that band.
But they're not they're actually more indie.
Yeah, this is definitely indie. Yeah, it's guitars and drums. And then what's really cool, and you like this guy, the dude, I hate that I forget his name. That's their drummer they brought on. He'll play the kit, but he has like this like
weird
a
guitar.
classical guitar that he'll wear up, and the strings are all loose on it. He's got percussive stuff taped to it, and it's his drum.
Wow.
And he plays a guitar,
Yeah.
just slaps it and beats it. He's got like a jangly things on the strap, and
And
he's
it's
got
not
everything you
hokey
need.
either.
No, it's like
Yeah.
It's like an upgraded washboard in a way, but like incredible.
What a cajon aspires to be.
Yeah. Oh, they're absolutely awesome, and just such neat songs and harmonies. You know, sibling harmonies is unfair, and they do a great job. It's
You heard it here first. If you need a cajon, buy a guitar.
buy a cheap guitar.
I mean,
and
Elijah's
turn
just like making it easy for
tape
you.
stuff to it.
Don't
It's good.
think. Ask
Yeah.
Elijah.
Private stock would work perfectly.
That's
What
right.
about you, Max? You got one? The Strokes.
Strokes.
Okay,
Strokes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to think.
Rod
Strokes.
says he would have loved to seen Jeff Healy. That
Oh,
would be a
boy.
good show.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. he
I would
was
have loved to seen Jeff Buckley when he was alive.
cool. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
if we want to go down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole of,
Yeah, I like concerts that make me cry. I just cry the whole time with Jeff Buckley.
you know,
He's too good.
you just said that, and I have a great concert memory of being what was the Roots and Blues Festival in Columbia, Missouri. Marty Stewart and the Fabulous Superlatives.
Oh, it's so good.
They it was the first time I hadn't seen it on the internet yet, but they did El Paso, Marty Robbins with the
Out of the
harmony.
West Texas town of El
And,
Paso.
dude,
How
fell in love
their
with
guitar
a
player
Mexican
Kenny Vaughn,
girl.
he, like nailed every lick in there, and it was so cool being around all these people. And when he's like, and I'm shot in the breast, and now I must die, and he goes, and he does like the little perfect little lick right there. It's kind of a cinematic sort of thing.
How neat.
Oh, it was so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're into someone that's new that kind of has that Western song ballad type sound, the Cactus Blossoms are
Cactus
a really
Blossoms.
good group. That's a crew I'd like to see in the concert. That's a fun one.
Then
Yeah.
you remind me of Charlie Crockett. I don't know if you guys have heard
Yeah,
of him.
yeah,
but
very similar.
He was at
Yeah.
Galoy a couple years ago. I got to see him. He was
Now
wonderful.
there's a guy who knows how to wear a
Wonderful.
hat.
He knows how to wear a hat. I'm
Yeah.
telling
Now,
you.
if we're talking about him, we got to bring up old Paul Coffin. You know Paul.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you haven't,
Salvation,
yeah, no, this is an older
salvation.
Paul Cawthon album, but if you haven't heard My Gospel by Paul Cawthon, and you like Marty Robbins, and you like Little Roy Orbison, and you like good old Western music,
Yeah.
Paul Cawthon in that big velvety baritone.
Well, and then add Orville Peck into that because they
Orville
did.
Peck.
God, what a phenomenal vocalist he is. I mean,
and with a mask.
with a tassely mask. I mean,
Tassely mask.
We don't even know what he
Come on,
looks
Chase.
like under there.
Chase, we're talking
He might
about,
have one of the greatest beards ever, and
Chase,
he's
we're talking
hiding
about
it.
people that we would love to see live that's not a stadium act. It's got to be
Under the radar.
or maybe it's not like just global phenomenon yet. I'm gonna take care of these folks here real quick. I'll be right back.
Hook Knives would be a good
Oh
one
man,
to go see.
yeah, you can catch
Honestly,
them next
I got
month.
I got to see one of them. That was Bastille for me. Like Bastille put on a great show. I don't know if the way that his show, it's very intimate and very up close. It's like I don't think it would excel maybe in a stadium setting, but like it was in the Uptown Theater at KC, which is honestly just like a small little theater, old theater, and it was just like it was awesome. There was literally a point in the show where he walked out into the crowd and was like dancing, everyone singing, and he's like maybe two people in front of me, and like that was just fantastic.
That's awesome.
Who was that?
Bastille.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't really know what to think about this.
I'm
I'm
just now.
But
mocking
if
at
you
this point.
close your eyes, oh, oh.
Actually, what's funny is before I ever knew Talon, he was at that exact same show.
Oh, that's cool. Couple show bros.
The Bastille show at KC.
Hey, everybody, say bye to Christian. He says he's got to
Bye.
go get a haircut.
Oh,
Bye,
bye,
Christian.
Oh, buddy, we love you, man.
High and tight, Christian.
High and tight. That's right.
Nah, let it
Send us
flow.
before and after pictures. Yeah. It's fun.
Great show. I have a question to ask you fellas. I've been thinking about it since like 3 days.
Oh, cool.
Whoa. Okay. Here it
Uh-oh,
comes.
here we go.
This is
Who knows what's
exciting.
about to happen?
Now, we're talking objectively. I'm not asking for your personal favorite or who you think is one of your favorites or one of the best. Who do you think is objectively the best guitar player?
What kind of question is that?
It's one that I'm just asking on an objective level of
Well-
all time. Who do you think the GOAT is?
Okay. Call your friends. Get everybody to tune in because we're about to have a fist fight right here.
Joe
on this couch.
Jonas? You say Joe Jonas?
Lil Wayne.
Max,
Joe Jonas.
First of all,
DJ Khaled.
Hi, Rod.
saying who is the best objective guitar player in what category?
We're just talking all categories, but in terms of iconicism, just talent, musicality, and just ability to unlock the full potential of what a guitar could really, really do.
Goodness.
Huh?
Max,
See,
Yeah.
that's
Max says Hendrix, and I'm going to
that's-
say I don't agree with that. I think Jimmy is incredible and did something for guitar players. I love you, Max. Did something for guitar players. I don't even know this question can be answered because I can't think of one person who there's studio guys.
to me.
That we'll never know. The Nashville Cats, right?
Yeah, those guys are great, but like part of being that legendary guitar players, you have to be known.
You
And,
got to have
like,
a voice, a
I-
unique voice.
I think to me, where it's like Jimmy is number 2. I think Jimmy set the precedent.
Jimmy is in the top 3.
I think Jimmy's number 2. For me, the precedent.
He's on the Mount Rushmore.
The number
Yeah.
one's Eddie. I
Eddie.
always feel like it's Eddie because at the end of the day, if you were to say if Eddie Van Halen never played a single solo, his rhythm playing was so on point for what the song needed and changed how an acoustic guitar, or not acoustic, well, yeah.
But your question was objectively, who's the
It's
greatest?
just objectively,
And
you
I
can't
think
answer
object-
that question.
If you drop Eddie in a room with Barney Kessel and Wes Montgomery and Tal Farlow, he's going to flounder. You know what I mean?
But that's where this is an impossible question because
Yeah.
when you start considering the jazz cats and you
Well,
start
let's see what
considering
the Rolling
bluegrass players.
Stones
Glenn
say.
Campbell. Oh yeah, that's
Glenn Campbell, yeah.
Seriously.
See,
I mean,
that's the thing is when you start considering the other genres, it gets harder. But I think at the end of the day,
I'm gonna throw this out there. I actually think Brent Mason is in the conversation in terms of because that cat does more than country. He's a great jazz player, and of course he plays rock. I know. I'm going to say this and I'll just leave, but I think Tom Bukovac is also in the top 10 at least.
It's a really Nate answer, right?
Yeah.
That's a really Nate answer. I love you,
I
Uncle
think
Larry.
for me, at the end of the day, it's Eddie because think of the amount of people that have never Glenn Campbell's great, Tom Bukovac great. Think of how many people picked up the guitar because of Eddie.
That's
At
true.
the end of the
That's
day,
true.
that weight is stronger than I think of any other guitar player that's ever
So
existed.
the Rolling Stones has
Taylor Swift is number 1.
Jimi Hendrix is number 1.
Yeah, and I
Number
could take
2,
either answer, honestly.
Chuck Berry,
Nah.
which is to me, it's
Nah.
iconic. He pioneered, but
By the
it's
way,
not the best.
Please tell me you guys. I know Mike
The
has seen
Rolling
it.
Stone articles are terrible. They
Yeah.
do this as
Jimmy
rage bait.
Page is number 3.
And I love Jimmy Page.
EVH is number 4.
I got to be honest. I think EVH blows Jimmy Page out of the water.
Where's Chet Atkins?
They've got Jeff
Wes
Beck.
Montgomery?
Well, they
number
don't
5.
consider
Now,
that's
Jeff Beck is the answer that I should have led with because I think
honestly
Jeff Beck
that's what
can do
you were going to
anything.
say.
Jeff Beck can. But the only problem with Jeff Beck is that Jeff is going to do Jeff Beck every single time.
Yeah.
And if you dropped him in a situation where you're like,
Now, see, that's where I think that's.
this is where the objective part gets a little wonky for me.
But I don't think so as much to what you're thinking because at the end of the day, I don't think being the best guitar player in the world means being good at every single genre. I think. Did I
Yep. So
break
your
it?
microphone's breaking up because what you're saying.
Break my mic?
Yeah.
See, you're just
Hello?
wrong.
Had,
there. He
uh,
had cancer. That's basically what it is.
Max just muted me over
Cut
there.
the feed, Max. Cut the feed.
I think for me, being being a great guitar player and being the objective best guitar player doesn't mean you have to be the best in every genre. It means you're the best at expressing what the guitar is saying to you.
Rosetta Tharpe is on the list. Nile
Great
Rogers.
Rosetta Tharpe.
Excuse me.
But
yeah.
I've yapped enough. Mike, what do you think? I haven't heard from you. I thought of this question the other day. I wanted to know what you guys thought.
I
By the
might
way, I
have
think
to
I'm going to
say
say Jeff Beck is
Yeah?
my final answer.
I think I might have to say Brian May
That's another great choice.
because he's just
He's a
Man.
he's a top 20 guitar player for me.
yeah.
I will say this though, when you listen to Crazy Little Thing Called Love, he plays a really good country solo.
He
Oh
does.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
They made him play a Telecaster.
How
He
you doing?
didn't want to do it, and the entire band insisted, "No, you have to
Hey,
play a Telecaster."
Roy Clark's another
Roy
good
Clark
answer.
is a great. Roy Clark is a
Oh,
great.
so good.
answer.
He is.
Yeah, good job, Rod. Yeah. What about you, Elijah? You're a bass player. You don't care. Yeah, you're right. Hey, speaking of which, have you guys seen? Is it Hail Hail Rock and Roll? That movie
Uh huh.
where Keith Richards and Chuck Berry basically
Yeah.
almost get into a fight. like a
Uh-huh.
fist fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, any clip I see of Chuck Berry, it seems like almost everyone's ready to fight him at any moment in time.
That's because we play Chuck Berry songs, fool. Yep.
He's
Yeah.
I heard challenging to get along with.
Yeah. Well, when you know you're Chuck Berry, you know you're Chuck Berry.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going
What-
to keep my mouth shut on
Yeah.
this one. We're keeping
It's-
the
it's
show
a-
PG.
It's a good question, and I was talking to my buddy Steve Eaton. If Steve is watching this right now, we were talking yesterday, and if you don't own a copy of Jeff Beck's album Blow by Blow, or if you don't get on Spotify or Apple Music and just listen to that all the way through, I've actually purchased that either as a cassette or a CD 5 times.
Really? Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
I end up giving it away to a friend, and then I realize they're not giving it back, and so I got to get another one. But Jeff
I
Beck,
gotta
Gold
head down to
Bubble-
the 8-track store.
Yeah, no, it's from the moment it starts, and George Martin produced it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so from the moment it starts, it is just a masterclass, and not just what you can do with a guitar, but also like beautiful melody that's played simply in virtuosity.
Has he moved to the Strat at that point?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe some Strat.
He
And
really
even though
got
the cover,
good.
he's got a Les Paul.
Here's
Oh, that is. It's that one. And
That was the thing I was thinking about the other day. When it comes to the guitar shapes and everything, I think the Telecaster is a better guitar than the Strat. But I think if I come to the show, the Strat is going to be one of the most hit or miss guitar players I've ever seen, because Strat players either tend to be some of the best players I know, because there's just something very vocal about a Strat when you have a player who knows how to play it right, and it just sounds like a person playing. And then there's the guys who play it who are just trying to think and play what they think a Strat should play. Kind of like the guys who you can tell at me, it's like, oh, that guy listens to John Mayer, that guy listens to Jimi Hendrix. It's like, that's great. It's a great tone, but it's like people like Jeff Beck and other guys like that who play, when I hear that Strat, it makes me want to play Strat, because I'm like, dang, that just sounds so good. But
Him
you know, it's
and
the player, not as much the guitar.
him and Richie Blackmore. I'm like, yep, that's what I want to sound
Oh,
like.
dude,
when I
Richie
play a
Blackmore,
Strat.
that's a great
He's
answer.
just like, that's the sound. That's how you do
Here,
that.
I am needed.
You are needed.
Yes. I turn it over to you.
Oh,
I'll take 2 microphones.
okay. Hello.
I'm just gonna
Oh.
watch Max's face as I try to make him feedback closer and closer.
Well,
I-
yeah.
well, that's rude.
is this unnecessary? Do I sound twice as good? I don't. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well, then I'll put one down.
But
Man.
yeah, I think I just love guitar players, man. Like, I love how you can get different stuff from each and
We
every
love
one
you
of them.
too, Chase.
Aw.
Aw. Well, you're a guitar player. You
But
better
Taylor
love
Swift does
yourself.
not deserve to be on the list of best guitar players ever.
No,
period. No.
she doesn't.
Just
She
the
has-
same way that I would maybe argue that Kurt Cobain doesn't either, because he's an iconic guitar player. I don't think he's a great guitar player. I think he had his own thing, his own voice, kind of like a Bob Dylan aspect. But it's like,
I'd agree.
I don't. If we were taking Nate's metric of putting him in a room and expecting to play something else, I don't think he would do well, and I think he would fall apart.
He'd probably have to go cry or something again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be
But
rough.
you know who's an underrated guitar player? Jerry Cantrell. Which he's perfect. I
doesn't
think he's
get enough
very
credit.
fairly rated, but
Does
like
it? Yeah.
he doesn't get as recognized as, like Kurt or what's his name from Pearl Jam, Mike McCready,
Yeah. Or Stone.
huh?
Incredible.
Oh yeah, Jerry
songwriter.
Cantrell is a great songwriter.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny. Like, I don't know about you guys. It seems like I listen to a lot more of the unplugged Alice in Chains stuff, just because it's cool. It's kind of one of Lane's last things,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, oh yeah, when you put on their actual albums, you're like, these guys are massively heavy, and Jerry was incredible when he
Yeah,
got
man.
to be in full force like that. Really
Yeah.
great player.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure. Man,
But I think my favorite of the grunge groups is still Soundgarden, though.
they're awesome.
I always compared it to this. I feel like if you look at the grunge movement and you could kind of tell who's the who of like the classic rock groups, because like to me, Nirvana was the Beatles of the grunge movement, where it's very poppy, but still have this like, weird experimentalism. And then Alice in Chains was like the Black Sabbath of the group, very heavy, honestly a little bit more metal than grunge or even rock a lot of times. Pearl Jam was Led Zeppelin. I mean, it was just that bluesy kind of swagger and
Yeah.
just kind of greasiness. And then Soundgarden was like the Frank Zappa.
Well, and
of
I'd
the
say
group.
Pearl Jam had a little more of a, and I don't mean this as a dig on the other ones, but they were a little more versatile in how
Oh,
their
yeah.
songs came about. I mean,
Oh,
Tim
yeah.
was all over the map, kind of intentionally, and then they could pick and choose what version of them they wanted to do. But it didn't seem weird because they came out of the gate kind of doing everything.
They
and
were
it was
more,
awesome.
They were a more
Acoustic
fully
songs.
fleshed band than a lot of groups.
Rock
And I
and
think
roll
Soundgarden's
band,
right up
yeah.
there with them, where it's like,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, Soundgarden to me doesn't even fit the grunge label a lot of times. Where like
Oh,
this stupid microphone. Like they could get borderline metal. They could be
Yeah.
more into
Oh, yeah.
blues. They could be into more prog. And it's like they could do a lot, and they were awesome.
they were awesome.
What do you think about Audio Slave?
I didn't know what to think about them when they first came out. Hindsight, I like them so much more, I think, than I did when they were an actual band. I feel
Yeah.
kind of weird. I'm slow to worm on some of that stuff, though.
That's
I
fair,
don't know,
that's
but they're great. I think it's some of Chris Cornell's best vocals and stuff that you hear.
Oh, yeah.
because it was just a different approach to what he did, and you hear him a lot. I don't know. sadder and more raw. I
Yeah.
think. And then just to have the Rage Against the Machine guys play all that cool stuff, but not so aggressive. It was very melancholy and beautiful, and I didn't. It kind of caught me off guard, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it absolutely. These days, I do.
Show Me How to Live has turned into like a music store riff, and it's kind of weird because it's like when I first started working here, I did expect to hear like Smoke on the Water, Stairway to Heaven, and stuff more. The main riffs I hear are most of the time John Mayer here all
Yeah.
the time, but then like I'll hear that bugga da bump bum 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 bum. I'm like, man, I haven't heard that in a while.
There was a few years it seemed like all I heard was Teen Spirit or Seven Nation Army.
That's true. That's
'cause,
true.
You know, everybody's got to learn that. That's a good rhythm thing when
Yeah.
you learn how to play the chicken chicken.
I hear Unholy Confessions almost every day.
Seven Nation Army, you can play that with one finger on one string, and it's like, yep, you just played it right. That's exactly how he did it. You know.
That's a group that I know you two have tried to convince me of that I need to try and get into and hear more of, just like Jack White. Like for me, more so, he's a great guitar player. It's more so the production. I've never been I find myself most of the time what I like is a raw feeling, but still a polished production is what I like. No. I'll be back in a second, fellas, but Mike,
Well,
you can
we
have
might be
microphone.
wrapping up.
Oh,
'cause
are we done?
I got to go play my gig. So I think we'll be
Bye, folks.
just hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Well,
Thanks
guys,
for tuning
now
in,
that
everybody.
everyone's left, I guess it's time to leave.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
I was just telling everybody goodbye.
Oh,
I think.
well, goodbye.
Have a good weekend, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.